Hey guys, Maik Wiedenbach here. Miserable Monday in New York City, giving tips, right? Before I gotta go to the dentist and I might never return. So today's tips are how to grow shoulders, chest, and back in that particular order. So the shoulder, here's the good news, it can do this. And here's the bad news, it can do this. So the shoulder being such a versatile or the most versatile joint, the issue is that most of us, due to the computer or phone, we are so stiff that when we're pressing, we're actually doing this, okay? So this adds tremendous amount of strain, of course, on my bicipital tendon rotator cuff. So if you cannot do this with a big towel or a rope or whatever, then you're too tight. So the first order of business is you get a band or a towel or whatever, and you do 20 reps 3 times every day, preferably twice. If I could get people to do these rotations just like they brush their teeth, they would save thousands in rehab in terms of cuff or whatever. So that's one thing, okay? The other thing you gotta check is your cuff strength. So if you cannot rotate a dumbbell, that's about 5% of your incline bench, your cuff's weak and you will get injured. Then you gotta do the stuff that nobody wants to do, which is, and by this I mean daily, face pulls, J pulls, and then pull aparts, and yes, every workout. And you can also throw in some, dumbbell mid-back work where you're pulling out, something like this. And then let's talk about the actual press. So the shoulder press, right? First of all, for most people, they sit so far up front that it's actually an incline press, which is nobody should be doing because you're doing shoulders. So you should be fully pushed, actually shorten your abs and be tucked in. You shouldn't go lower than this because the active range of motion of the delts, they end here. And now I'm pushing myself into the floor with my feet, my glutes, everything. And as a byproduct, I'm pushing up the dumbbells, okay? So that's just a byproduct. So see a difference between doing this, how much my delts work, as opposed to this. No body tension, this is just some sort of like weird tricep exercise. Now, what happens when people get tired, be it a chest press or shoulder press? They do this, right? So when you do this, now you can't really shorten your delts anymore, nor could you shorten your pecs. Like, how would you do so? So what I'm getting with this very lengthy explanation is that you need to have scapular control. In other words, you have to be able to do this at all times and keep it. Which is why I recommend that everybody should do reverse shrugs all the time. So it's a bit of a misleading name, but I'm not very good with names for exercise. So you're basically pulling your shoulder blades down, hold the squeeze, activate the lower traps, come back up, squeeze. And this is how you should be when doing any type of pressing or pulling. Now, like I said, this also comes into play when doing chest, right? So if I'm doing flies, but I'm losing my scapula, now my shoulders are in front of my pecs, right? How can I contract my pecs? Well, I can't, okay? So the shoulder blades stay back and you squeeze tight, pushing the elbows into each other. Now see a difference between doing this and doing this. A lot of times you see this, right? Does nothing, does nothing. Now that also goes for when you're doing an actual chest press. So when you're doing a chest press, you should, tuck your t-shirt like so, right? And more importantly, you should feel like you are pushing yourselves into the bench And the dumbbells, they go up as a byproduct. So as opposed to be doing this, I'm here, I'm driving everything against the dumbbells, and now they go up. So I come down, create length, and then I do not lock out. So now you might be saying, well, yeah, but I saw this bodybuilder X, he was doing 140s, just like so. Those people have such good genetics and stable joints that their training has nothing to do with us mere mortals, okay? If you and I train like this, we're gonna be in the ER 15 days out of the month, okay? So we have to make sure to protect our shoulders, elbows, and just really work in the active range of motion. So scapular control also matters for training your back. So if I'm doing a pull down and I'm losing my scapula, so I'm doing this on the way up. Now, how can I, from here, shorten my lats? I cannot. I cannot shorten my lats if the scapula is down. So, say you're doing some sort of a pull down. The first thing you do is you lock the scapula, which is the feeling you should memorize from the reverse shrugs. And now you're pulling the elbows toward you after you put the shoulders. So my shoulder goes down, back, and now I'm moving the elbows. Most of the time this happens, okay? Again, if you lose scapular control, you're losing your set. Lock it in, and the moment any of this happens, your set's over. Now, I know these things are geeky and not very exciting, but you're watching my channel and I'm a geek, so if you do them, you're gonna become a bigger geek. Maik out.